Hey everyone, welcome to the Top 10 list. Here's my top 10 favorite Quentin Tarantino movies. Yes, Quentin Tarantino is going strong. He's had 8 films, well, technically 9 films, but 8 films that have come out, and they're all fantastic. And you know what I love about Quentin Tarantino movies? Well, a lot of things, but you know what I really love? I love the characters in Tarantino's movies. He's such a talented writer and director, and he just writes such amazing and unique and amazing characters. I love the characters in all of Tarantino's movies, and I thought I'd count down my top 10 personal favorite Tarantino characters. So yeah, well, let's get started, shall we? Okay, before our top 10 list, you gotta obviously have your honorable mentions, and here's my honorable mentions for top 10 favorite Tarantino characters. Those honorable mentions are Jackie Brown from Jackie Brown, Vincent Vega from Pulp Fiction, Butch from Pulp Fiction, The Wolf from Pulp Fiction, Mr. White from Reservoir Dogs, Lieutenant Archie from Inglourious Basterds, and Zoe from Death Proof. I love all those characters. They just couldn't make the top 10 list. But what did make the top 10 was my number 10. And my number 10 is Beatrix Kiddo / The Bride from Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2. I love Kill Bill. Kill Bill's a great movie, great action movie. I love the homage to Kung Fu movies. Beatrix Kiddo is fantastic. Played by Uma Thurman. And she's, yeah, I can see Uma Thurman just once on this list. I love Uma Thurman. I think she's a great actress when she's used properly, not in a Batman and Robin movie. I love her as Beatrix Kiddo. She was nominated for this performance twice for a Golden Globe. I'm surprised she never got an Oscar nomination, but yeah, she's a very compelling character, and she's the lead character in both these Kill Bill movies, and basically she is out for revenge. These people, these assassins, killed her on her wedding day and killed her unborn child. Her husband, her future family, her friends, killed them all and left her to die. Basically, she didn't die, and she's coming back for revenge, and she will kill Bill. Does she do it? You know, if you've seen the movies, you know, but she's great, she's awesome, she's a badass fighter, she's one of the most badass female characters in movies, she's awesome with a sword, and she's just great, she's just such a likable character, and you really root for her. For all these movies, you really root for Beatrix. You want her to kill all these fucking bastards. She's awesome, she's badass, and she's one of my all-time favorite female characters in movies, and she's my 10th favorite Tarantino characters. Coming number 9 is Mr. Blonde from Reservoir Dogs. Yes, this is one twisted motherfucker. He is fucking twisted. Mr. Blonde, played by Michael Madsen. He does a great job. I love him as Bud, also in Kill Bill. I think Michael Madsen's a very underrated actor, and he shows his chops in Reservoir Dogs. The main reason why I like that he's mysterious. You don't know much about him. You know he knows Joe. You know that he knows him and his son, Chris Penn. You know he has a lot of history with them and everything, but you don't know fully why he's so crazy. You know he went to jail, but you don't know fully about his character, and you want to know more. But you just love him because how nuts and crazy he is. Everyone knows the stuck in the middle scene when he's torturing the cop. Come on. Stuck in the middle with you, and again. I don't know lyrics. You know this about me. I don't know lyrics, but he's great. He's awesome. He's psycho. He's twisted. But you just love every scene he's in because he's just an entertaining character, and he's my 9th favorite Tarantino character. Coming number 8 is Mr. Pink from Reservoir Dogs. This is my favorite character in Reservoir Dogs, and I love the characters in Reservoir Dogs. I love Mr. White. I love Mr. Blonde. I love Mr. Orange. I love Mr. Brown, Quentin Tarantino himself. They're just great characters. I even love Joe. Joe's great, but Mr. Pink, played by Steve Buscemi, is fantastic. He rocks a killer goatee, and he's just awesome. He's the only one that, I don't want to spoil anything, but he's the only one that really knows what he's doing. Because some people in this movie, well, most people in this movie, they don't really have a clue what the fuck they're doing. He knows what he's doing. He is probably one of the most smartest characters in this movie, and he's downright the most funniest character. I love his humor. I love his philosophies about life and everything, and I love his energy in this movie, and I love that he is dedicated. He's dedicated to get away. Like, he's dedicated to accomplish his goal in this movie, and he's just a great character. He is my favorite character in this movie. Steve Buscemi gives a phenomenal performance in this movie, one of his best performances in movies, and he's just great in this movie, and I just love the character. Mr. Pink, my favorite character in Reservoir Dogs. Coming number 7 is Shoshana from Inglourious Basterds. Yes, she is a Jewish girl during World War II, and basically her family was murdered, and basically she's posing as a French girl who owns a cinema, and basically her goal in this movie is to murder as much Nazis as she can. And she is a dedicated soldier. Well, she's not really a soldier, but she's a dedicated Jewish person. She's fantastic. She is my favorite, one of my favorite characters in this movie. And Inglourious Basterds has so many great characters. I love the characters in this movie. There's a few I'm going to mention later on in this video, but I love the Bear Jew. He's a great character. Lieutenant Archie, played by Michael Fassbender, he's a great character as well. And I even like Bridget von Hammersbach, or whatever the fuck her name is, Diane Kruger, Bridget von something. She's great in the movie too. So Shauna is my favorite, one of my favorites in this movie. She's a great character. You feel so bad for her. You feel really bad for her. Right when the movie opens, you're like, damn, I feel bad. I was like, I hope she gets good in the end. Like, I hope she accomplishes her goal. She does accomplish her goal, but at a price. And I love her final speech at the end, like her big F you to the Germans. It was so good, and it got a big chuckle out of me. I'm like, yeah, you go, girl. She's a great character. She's a very smart character. She's a very devious character, and she's willing to manipulate and cheat her way to get her goal, to achieve her goal. And she's a very interesting, compelling, clever, smart character that you just get invested in. The movie is mainly about her. She's pretty much the main character in this movie. Yes, they say Brad Pitt's the main character, but so Shauna is the true lead character. She has the true character arcs, and she's the character you just root for in this movie, and she's the more compelling and more interesting character in this movie, and I love Shauna. She's a great character. Love her. Coming number 6 is John the Hangman Ruth from The Hateful Eight. Yes, this movie just came out this year. Another movie with a lot of great characters. I liked Sam Jackson's character, but Kurt Russell's character, the Hangman, was my favorite character because this movie is filled with unlikable assholes. And I enjoy most of the unlikable assholes in this movie, but Kurt Russell was my favorite. John the Hangman Ruth was the more interesting character, and he actually had beliefs, and he actually had standards in this movie. Like, he's the kind of guy, he's a bounty hunter, but he doesn't kill his bounties. He gets them all, he captures them, and he basically wants them to go to trial and then, you know, get hanged for their crimes. Like, he believes in the justice system. He's a true soldier, he's a true warrior. That's what I like about the Hangman. I like this character because he has honor, he has privilege, and he has respect, too, even though most of the movie is him punching Jennifer Jason Leigh in the face, which is very funny and entertaining, but I just liked his character. He was the more interesting character in The Hateful Eight, and Kurt Russell is a great actor, and he's fantastic. I could have went with his character, Stuntman Mike from Death Proof. I like him in that movie as the twisted nut job who races cars, but this was the more interesting and awesome character, interesting character, and the character I'm invested more with, so yeah. John the Hangman Ruth is my 6th favorite Tarantino character. Love you, Kurt Russell. Coming number 5 is Colonel Hans Lando from Inglourious Basterds. Yes, I love a lot of characters in this movie. I love the Inglourious Basterds characters. And Hans Lando, played by Christoph Waltz, is a brilliant character. Yes, I love Christoph Waltz in Django Unchained as Dr. King Schultz, and he's great in that movie, but I love him in this movie. He so deserved his Oscar for this movie. This is a performance. Like, this is the best performance he's given in the movie. And he plays a Nazi who speaks like 4 different languages, and they call him like the Jew hunter because he knows how to hunt the Jews. And he is a smart and one intimidating fucking bastard. The opening scene when he's talking to this French farmer, you can tell this guy is one scary guy, and you don't mess with him. He's just a great villain. Like, this is a villain. This is one of my favorite villains in movies. He's just a very sick, twisted, and kind of psychotic, and kind of likable, and kind of hilarious villain. Like, I was laughing a lot of shit he was doing because he takes so much enjoyment out of what he does. He just enjoys being bad. He just enjoys fucking people over. He even fucks over his own Nazi people. He screws his own people over just so he can get the better ending. So he can get the happy ending. That is a true villain. And Hans Lando is just a great character, and Christoph Waltz just made it his own. No actor could have played this character but Christoph Waltz. It's a phenomenal performance, and it's a phenomenal character. One of my favorites. Coming number 4 is Mia from Pulp Fiction. Yes, I love Mia from Pulp Fiction for some reason. And again, I love a lot of characters in Pulp Fiction. I love Butch, the Wolf, Vincent Vega. But Mia, again, is a character I want to know more about. You know, she was a TV actress. Well, she ran on a pilot for, a pilot one episode. And you know she's smart. You know she doesn't take bullshit. And you know you don't want to mess with her. Not because she's just Marcel Wallace's wife, but she's a very tough character. And you know that. She may not show it, she may not beat the shit out of people or pull a gun or a knife on people. You know she's tough, though. You know she's smart, you know she's tough, you know she's intuitive, and you know she's quite clever. And I really like Mia. I wanted to know more about Mia, but what I got was a really good character. Very attractive, very sexy, very clever, smart, intuitive character, and I thought Uma Thurman did a phenomenal job, and she's one of my favorite characters in Tarantino movies. I love her as a character. That's why she's on the cover of Pulp Fiction, because she is one of the best characters. Some people don't like her, but I'm a big fan of Mia. One of my favorites. Coming number 3 is a tie between Calvin Candy and Steven from Django Unchained. These two are both the villains in Django Unchained, and they are the best villains in Tarantino movies. I love these villains. Steven and Calvin Candy, played by Samuel Jackson and Leonardo DiCaprio, them two together is just hilarious. It's comedic gold. Any scene when they're just bickering at each other is freaking hysterical. And these are the two most sickest, disturbing, messed up villains, messed up human beings in Tarantino movies, and that is saying a lot because Tarantino writes messed up characters. But these two are just sick and just diabolical, and you just love every scene they're in. Leonardo DiCaprio and Sam Jackson both should have got Oscar nominations for the performances because they are fucking amazing. They're both very racist, very offensive characters, but they just love being evil. They love fucking with people. They love manipulating people. They love just getting what they want. And that's a true villain. They're both very scary when they need to be. Like, when Leo does the scene with the skull and everything, that is one scary scene. And of course, that's Steven when he's like, talking to Brunhilde, getting in her face. Those are very scary and very intimidating scenes. And these are the most scariest and most intimidating villains in Tarantino movies, and that's why they're both my favorites. Coming number 2 is Jules from Pulp Fiction. Yes, Samuel Jackson, again, is on this list. I love Jules. He's my favorite character. I love his speech when he does Ezekiel 4 something. I don't know the whole thing, but awesome. I love it. It's a very intimidating thing to say to someone before you kill them. He's a badass, cool, suave guy. I just love his character. I love his speeches. I love his philosophy. He's a very poetic kind of guy. He's very religious, and you don't know what happens to him at the end. You know he's going to quit being a mobster, but you don't know what he's going to do with his life. And he's just an interesting character. I think he's very likable. I think he's very funny. I think he's very smart. I love the way he talks to people. He's a mobster, but he comes off kind of an asshole in the beginning, but I find him kind of nice at times. Like, he does with Ringo in the restaurant, and the way he talks to Quentin Tarantino's character. He kind of reminds me of kind of a nice guy, and kind of a chilled kind of guy. He's a very cool and suave guy. I've always loved Jules. Every time I watch Pulp Fiction, everyone says, who's your favorite character? It's Jules. He's my second favorite Tarantino character, and he's my favorite character in Pulp Fiction. I love Jules. And my number 1 favorite Tarantino character is Lieutenant Aldo Raine from Inglourious Basterds. Yes, we're going to do one thing only. Killing Nazis. Each and every one of you owe me 100 Nazi scalps. And I want my scalps. Each and every one of you are going to give me my scalps. I love Brad Pitt. This is my favorite Brad Pitt performance in any movie. I freaking love Lieutenant Aldo. Aldo the Apache, they call him. He doesn't give the best performance because that's Christoph Waltz. He's not the most compelling character because that's Shoshana. But he is my favorite character. I love Lieutenant Aldo Raine. Every scene with Brad Pitt, I'm always cheering, laughing, and just having a blast. He's just such a fun character. He's one of my favorite movie characters of all time. He's just a blast to watch. I love him. I love when he's ripping the scouts off Nazis. I love when he's killing them. I love when he's just ripping on people. I love how he talks to all his privates. He's just an awesome character. He's hilarious. He's just my favorite Tarantino character. How can you not love Lieutenant Aldo Raine? He's awesome. One of my favorite Brad Pitt performances and one of my favorite characters in movies. And he's my number 1 favorite Tarantino character. So yeah, that was my top 10 personal favorite Tarantino characters. So yeah, in the comment section below, please tell me, did you agree with this list? And if not, give me your top 10 personal favorite Quentin Tarantino characters. Comment below and let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to this channel and join the dark side.